Hi, and welcome to Tina's Table. Today we're going to be making Italian wedding soup, one of my new all-time favorites. I'm starting with about a half a pound of ground pork and about a half a pound of ground hamburger. And I'm going to use salt, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, and some pepper. And I have a half a cup of seasoned Italian breadcrumbs and 1 egg. So let's get the meatballs started. So I've mixed in, like I said, about a half a pound of ground pork and about a half a pound of hamburger. And I've got half a cup of seasoned breadcrumbs. I'm not going to use the whole half a cup yet. I just want to take a look at it once I start mixing it to see if I need to add in some more. I've got 1 egg and just amount of salt. And you know me, I don't measure anything. So there's some pepper. And we've got some granulated onion powder, granulated garlic powder, and some parsley. Now let's mix this all up. And we're going to make little tiny meatballs. I added a little bit more of the breadcrumbs to the mixture. I didn't use quite the full half a cup as I previously said, but that's okay. Now I'm going to be using a melon baller to make the little meatballs. If you don't have one, just take out enough so that your little meatball is about 1 inch in diameter. You don't want them to be too big, and you don't want them to be too little. So if you have a melon baller, great. If you don't, just take out a little bit and make a little meatball. Okay, so all of the little meatballs are done. They're about 1 inch in diameter, and I got about 50 little meatballs out of the pound of hamburger and ground pork that I used. I'm going to be cooking half of the batch of meatballs at a time. You don't want to overcrowd the pan. I just flip the meatballs over so they can cook on the other side. And you don't want them to be too overly done. Like I said, they will cook the rest of the way in the soup. All right, so I'm going to take this batch out and put the last batch in. I'm using the same pot that I cooked the meatballs in. And I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil to it. And now I'm going to put in about 2 cups of celery, chopped celery, and 2 cups of chopped up carrots, and about a cup of chopped up onions. Give that a little stir. You could use a little bit more olive oil. I'm going to cook that on medium-high heat. You don't need to have them cook all the way through so that the carrots and celery and onions get soft. We'll cook about 5 minutes or so. Okay, put in about 48 ounces of chicken stock and about 8 cups of water. I'm going to let this cook on medium-high heat just until the carrots and onions and celery are tender. I sprinkled in some salt and pepper, and I'm putting in some parsley. This parsley enhances everything that you cook. I put it in just about everything. Stir that up. Let it continue to cook till the vegetables are tender, 15 minutes. Okay, the soup has been cooking for about 15 minutes. I'm going to add in the meatballs. And while the soup is cooking, I'm going to be making about a cup of acini di pepe. They are these little tiny pasta balls. So they take about 9 minutes to cook. And the soup is just looking so good, that deliciousness. All right, I'm going to be putting in about 4 cups of escarole. I washed it, chopped it all up. Now, if you can't find that in your local grocery store, you can always use fresh spinach. It's going to be so good. And the pasta is still cooking. Takes about 9 minutes. This girl will get all wilted. And I turned this down to low so it can just cook the escarole slowly. Right. Now the soup is done, and I put in a scoopful of the little pastines in a bowl. A little trick that I learned. I don't put it in the soup because then it gets all mushy. So I'm going to grab some soup, some broth. Here it is, everybody. Tina's version of Italian wedding soup with the little meatballs, escarole, carrots, onions, celery, and then I put the little pastines in the bowl and then serve the soup on top and then just sprinkle it with a little bit of grated cheese. Yum. Here's the finished soup. There's a little meatballs, some pastines, carrots, celery, escarole. Enjoy.